guys, welcome to Bartlow's Barbecue, and today we are doing a fun comparison, sous vide steaks versus reverse sear steaks. It's gonna be great. I love both processes. These are similar processes. We're gonna slow cook both steaks to a certain temperature, and then we're gonna sear it at the same time and just determine which one we like better. I recognize this is personal preference because some people are sous vide all the way, and then some are all about the reverse sear. So I'm gonna have some blind taste testers, which are my family, and see which one they like. Again, this is just fun to have different comparisons on the channel, so I hope you enjoy it. So let's get going. All right guys, let's talk about the pros and cons to reverse sear and sous vide. Here's a few things on my list. Let's start with sous vide, the pros. It's a perfectly cooked internal temp. I mean, literally to perfection, it cooks it to temp. It's amazing. Second thing, I think it's just easy to use and slash technology. You know, it comes with the app. You're able to, set the timer. You're able to set the temp and just let it ride and do its thing. So great technology, easy to use. Matter of fact, you don't even have to have a special sous vide, container. You can use a pot from your kitchen and it works, which is what I do in this current season. Also, it makes the steak super tender. That's a pro on the sous vide. A few cons would be just the presentation after you cook the sous vide. It makes it this light brown color, so you have to, sear at the end to get that better crust and presentation. Also, no smoke or charcoal flavor. Again, that might be personal preference, but I'm going to list that as a con, but some just don't care about that, and that's okay. And then also just the time it takes, 2 hours, 2.5, 3 hours, depending on what you do. That could be considered a con. You just have to have a lot of preparation. When it comes to reverse sear, the pros would be the same concept, low and slow the entire time on the grill to produce a tender steak. Also, it gives you that smoke and charcoal flavor. That's an added benefit to the flavor of the reverse sear steak. And then also the ability to sear on the same grill. You don't have to mess with anything else. It's just the same grill. You're able to do it all on. And I think that's a great pro. But also a con would be the time. Now it takes less time reverse searing, but it still takes time, 45 minutes to an hour depending on the temp that you're going at in your grill. And then also probably the biggest con would be just the risk of overcooking if you're not paying attention. So you got to continue to track it with your digital thermometer and also just stay on it, making sure you don't overshoot your temp. So those are a few pros and cons to sous vide and also reverse sear. All right guys, we're gonna set up this Inkbird Sous Vide, which I've got it set at 125 internal temp, and then we're setting it for 2.5 hours, and then we're using this New York strip steaks, and this is 1.5 inches thick, and we will use a vacuum sealer to zip these up, or the one steak, and then we will reverse sear the other steak on the Kamado Joe. And I'll bring this up on the screen here. The Inkbird has an app that you can track the temperature and set all the timing, and so it's pretty cool. It's one that you might want to check out. I've had great success with it so far. So we're gonna get this set up, show you what it looks like to vacuum seal the steaks, and then we will season it first, both of them. And I'm going to be using TD's Brew and BBQ Carne Sutra. I love this stuff because I love it so much. I chose not to salt brine, which a lot of people enjoy doing the night before. But for this cook, I'm not. And then we'll show you how we set up the Kamado Joe. Alright guys, we're going to set up the Kamado Joe right now for low and slow to reverse sear the steak. I've got a half divider with charcoal. I'm reserving the charcoal. I'm not going to use the whole basket today. Then I've got the cast iron plate that we're going to sear the steak in at the end, but I'm going to use that as a grid, cooking grid, to allow it to slowly heat up. And then we'll put the regular heat deflectors on the bottom section, and then we'll put the steak on. the regular grill grate, and then we'll get ready to set the temperature with our Inkbird thermometer, and it's a digital one, so I'll show you how we set that and what temperature we're going for, and we'll just monitor this until it's done, and then we'll get ready to lower the cast iron to sear these steaks at the same time. Alright friends, we got our steak on here to reverse sear, and then I put on some sausages that we're going to cook. I've got the dome thermometer to kind of test the grate level, and then also the steak to reverse sear it, bringing up the grill back up the temperature, and then we will let this cook for 45 minutes to 60 minutes, and then we'll get ready to sear. Alright friends, we're going to sear these steaks, and the one on my left here is the sous vide, and the one on my right is the reverse sear. We're going to do that in that same order, and we're going to just put the sous vide right here, and then we're going to put the reverse sear right there. A little rosemary to it at the very end, just for that other flavor. Alright guys, well we finished the steaks. We even had a little storm outside, so I had to kind of rush the process, but we've got steak 1 and steak 2. We're going to cut these open, and then we have some taste testers coming our way. And decided to leave the fat on this one here, and man, that looks really good. We just finished the sous vide versus reverse sear. We've got not told the girls which one is what. We got 1 and 2 here. I know which one is what. We're gonna start with number 1, and you're gonna taste each of them, and then tell me what you think. And don't tell me which one you think. Here you go, man. It's a big bite.
I think I
Don't tell me which one you think it is. Just tell me what you think of the taste.
It tastes spicy.
Okay.
It tastes
You can open your eyes.
and also it tastes
Good. All right, babe. What do you think? As far as taste, don't tell me which one you think it is yet. Just tell me about the taste.
Well, from chewing it, it's hard to chew. It takes a bunch of chewing.
Okay.
Chew.
So it's very chewy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go ahead and do number 2.
Oh, hey, I dropped my thing.
Eat me.
Got it.
Are you gonna still eat it?
Yeah.
All right, that's what kids do.
I think first one. I think the first one.
You see it here on YouTube.
I think that.
This is how we do it.
I think the first one was I think the first one was the number 1. I added.
You're right. The first one was number 1, and the second one is number 2. So which one? What do you think of this one as far as taste?
This is the thing you boil it. I can tell by its color.
Wow.
And its taste. It tastes
What do you think?
like
I
boiled
think-
water.
Do you agree with your sister?
But they have different colors. This one has a little bit of dark brown with some.
Well, you're right. It's a little,
close.
that's a good observation.
And
Man.
also
It's
this
darker.
has light darker.
You're right. So this one on the outside's darker and a little bit more caramelized and seared compared to this one.
I want to say about number 2.
Okay, what do you think?
It tastes more like the Kamado Joe Classic 2.
Wow.
Because I can tell because we've had the Classic 2 for a very long time, and I know the taste.
Yes, what do you think?
And we haven't had that for a while.
I think the number 1 bottom is kind of like darker, and it's a kind of, and also it's smooth.
Nice. All right, guys, go ahead and say goodbye. So you saw it there. Fresh eyes from my kiddos. This is just it's a fun channel. But they legitimately were blind taste testers. They have no clue which one was right and which one was left as far as sous vide versus the reverse sear. So I am kind of a third here. I'm just going to taste it because I want to know and tell what it tastes like as well. So I know this is the sous vide. Really good. Man, I'm telling you, they both are good. They're both tender. They both taste really great. I can tell that this has a little bit more of that charcoal taste just because I've been charcoaling a lot compared to the sous vide. I could tell that the reverse sear got a better char compared to the sous vide, and that's part of just a lot of research out there. Now, this is everyone's different opinions, but whenever you even pat it dry, that's an important part of sous vide before you sear it. But it had a wet bath, and so to get all that moisture out, sometimes you don't get a nice crust compared to a reverse sear. Now, I've done this on my cast iron plate in my house and have gotten a good sear on both before as well. So they both turned out great. They both tasted great. And so it was just kind of fun to determine which one was which more than which one is better, because again, I think that's preference, although I typically always lean towards the reverse sear because I'm more of a charcoal guy, and again, I'm new to sous vide, but I'm going to say this was a head-to-head. It tasted pretty equal. You could just tell of the charcoal flavor. And just FYI, I didn't put any wood chunks in the Kamado Joe because I wanted to make sure this was kind of a head-to-head the best you can. So again, I know it's personal preference. It's a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. And these are just fun videos just to kind of get you thinking about different ways to cook. So from my backyard to yours, remember, less hate, more love, good barbecue. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications. Until next time, we'll see you then.